Welcome back in, y'all. It is good to see you here on Sunday, as always. Um, was able to get Mr. Greg Tunnel's uh, pipe case sent out. He should be receiving that here early part of this week coming up. So that all of a sudden left me empty-handed. I was able to take a couple days off, enjoy myself a little bit, and then I jumped right back into one of those tobacco valets, like we had talked about. And I'm gonna, as always, me, I got pictures, y'all. Gonna take you through it. Um, I suppose it'd be nice if I had videos. I've seen some guys that will just let you sit there and watch them as they work. I kind of think that's kind of boring, y'all. Unless you got, unless the person working is, talking and taking you through the actions of. But most craftsmen, tradesmen, would rather just work and not talk through it. So for me, taking pictures as I go along, I think that's a better way to do it, y'all. Um, yeah. Anyway, so I got pictures. Today's pipe is, for lack of a better way, it's a Johnny P pipe. P pipe. um, yeah. So this one definitely does look like a brandy if you look at it. A little rustication down here at the bottom. Top area right here is smooth. Um, and it's a good, it's uh, depending on how you pack it, 45 to an hour smoke, depending on how you pack it. But if you recall, this is the one I had told you way back that I had cracked the shank right here. And so I put a brass collar on it right here to hopefully save it. And it did. It took care of it. It saved it. Shined it up real nice. Made a new stem for it. I had a little stubby stem on this pipe way back. And I decided, yeah, I'm kind of done with that. And then, let's face it, y'all, if I want to, I can just make a new stem. So that's what I did. Um, and I used a piece of blue acrylic on this one. And I'm not normally a blue person. Blue's fine, but I don't gravitate towards blues. For some reason, I gravitate towards the greens. Hmm. But this one here is blue. It's got some little bit of silver shimmer in it, and a little lighter blue swirl going through it. I don't know what else to call it, y'all. But I really like it. Here she is right there. Now, I didn't make this one a P-lip. I did make this one a fishtail. Um, I don't know. I like to balance it out. Half my pipes have P-lips. Half my pipes are just traditional fishtail. Um, and I did that with this one here. So just the slightest of bend on it. Just a slight bend. But it's a good pipe. Now, one thing I have been making, you know me, y'all, I make observations. And, well, let me get this lit up and we'll talk about it. And the pipe is Shanae's cake. So there you go. I mean, this morning I had some haunted bookshop. So, but for the most part, that's my blend. Shanae's cake. That's what I smoke. Um, I lost my place. Yeah. So, anyways, this is the pipe. Um, okay, the observations. There you go. I'm surprised I got back to that. I squirreled out pretty hard, didn't I? Observations. Um, so I was smoking some of my briars last week, and then smoking some of my olive wood pipes. This one here is olive wood stained, but I started to get upset one day. My Peterson, my Dongle Rocky, I don't remember which number it is, but I was smoking it, and I call that the spit magnet. that thing just loves moisture. Um, and there's nothing worse. Well, I suppose one of the bad things. There's a lot of worse things, but you put the stem to your mouth and some tar-soaked, oily-soaked spit goes back into your mouth from the end of the stem. Um, and I don't know about y'all, and maybe it's happened to y'all, probably happened to all of us, but immediately if I'm anywhere I can spit, I just spit. Um, it's a very mm, not so nice experience. Um, and I thought to myself, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just um, I got an overworking saliva glands. Maybe, yeah, maybe it's my fault. So I tried to pay attention to how I was smoking and make sure that, I was trying to keep my mouth dry and um, make sure I wasn't causing any moisture from my mouth, or at least more than normal, to go back into the pipe or into the stem. And I really paid attention to it, and it seemed to help a little bit. But what I did notice is between my pear wood, and I would also mention my cobs, and then of course a briar. The briars just do not do well with moisture at all. It will build up in the pipe, and then you'll suck it up through the stem and right into your mouth, and it's nasty. But with cobs and with a pear wood, maybe there's other woods out there that do well too, but that's my two experiences right there. Um, they do really well on with moisture, absorbing it. So I was smoking my pear wood, and I'm like, this one doesn't gurgle. I'm not finding myself with some nasty, uh, you know, spit coming back through the stem into my mouth. Um, and I thought to myself, well, maybe that's because I'm being more aware of how I smoke. Or is it because, the briars don't do well with moisture? Now, the briars do exceptionally well out of all the woods with heat. But as far as moisture, not so good, at least my opinion. Um, Now we know that the other woods, pear woods, and um, people use mahoganies, bogwood. Um, there's all kinds of woods out there they use. They don't stand up to heat as well, so they can burn through in time or whatever, and that's fine for someone like me because I just make another one. Someone like y'all, well, you just turn around and buy another one. It all depends, but that's why we buy briars because of their longevity, because they last a very long time. If you take care of them, they last generations. Um, as many of y'all can attest to buying some estate pipes. But so, but for my initial pleasure of smoking, I would definitely say that um, I prefer a pearwood or a cob for an everyday smoke because I don't have to worry about all the moisture buildup and all the gunk and the goop that gets all piled up in the pipe versus, a cob or a pearwood, in my opinion. But yeah, so that's the observation there, y'all. Because at first I was blaming my stem. Ah, shoot, I should have made a P-lip for it, things of that nature. But then, no, no, yeah, I do believe I'd have to do more research, but I do believe it is the briar does not do well with moisture. So, anyways, enough of that, y'all. I can beat a dead horse. Um, let's get on. Let me get this pipe lip back up. Blend's a little too moist. Guess I should have used my Tobacco Valet and let some of that tobacco dry out a little bit prior to packing the pipe. Because that's where we're going right now, y'all. I did get a chance to sit down, be a little creative. I actually enjoyed this one. It's been a long while since I have tooled leather. And I used to do it all the time years ago. I love tooling leather. Um, Basically putting artwork in the leather. I could show you all some really nice work that I've done before. But so I did it again, and I kind of rushed through it. It's good. It's good. It's not my best, but I did make a new valet, and we're going to talk about that today. And then I am going to officially tell y'all to go ahead and put your names in the hat for this particular valet, Tobacco Valet, and we'll give that away in the next video. So let's get back into it right here, y'all. So I took a scrap piece of leather, and I think this is a piece of 6-7 ounce. It's fairly thick piece of leather. Not the thickest, but it's not the thinnest. So you can imagine that. Very rigid piece of leather. This was just a scrap piece laying in my scrap box. I picked it out and said, yeah, I can probably get a valet out of that, Tobacco Valet. And so here I got pictures of it. I'm getting ready to square it up right now. Um, so put it there on the old work table, and we're squaring it out right there, getting it all cut out. These little cutting wheels right here, y'all. Let me see if I can bring that up a little bit more for you to see. Those little cutting wheels, they do pretty good on thick leather. I really like them. Do pretty good on cutting yourself too. So watch out if you're using one. But yeah, I squared it up right there, got her all ready. Now here's the tooling part. All I do is I just find a piece of artwork that I like on the internet, or maybe I draw it out, whatever. Put it on the leather, and I'll tape it in place usually. And then I use a blunt tool for transferring an outline to the leather. I forgot the name of that tool. Well, there it is right there. So this tool right here, it's got like a little ball on the end of it. So as you trace, it leaves an indentation on the leather of what you've traced. So you press fairly hard, but not hard enough to break through the paper, printer paper. And it'll leave a indentation for you to follow later on. So here you can kind of see it. It leaves an indentation. It was really hard for me to get it on in a picture. So I went ahead and took a pencil and outlined the indentation that it leaves in the leather. For those of you that tooled leather, transferred images to leather via one of these, I'll call it a pen, a leather pen, I don't know. But you'll know what I'm talking about. But I did take a pencil and I went ahead and I made it, so you could see it. So there you go. I centered the pipe that I wanted in the middle of this leather that we were going to make a valet out of. Now right here, I got my strop out here and sharpened up my old cutting tool right here for cutting the leather, cutting the design into the leather. This thing only cuts so far down. It'll cut about halfway down through the leather, but it doesn't cut all the way through the leather, so you can get that cut into the leather. I don't know if y'all can see that. So it's got a chisel point right here, basically. And you keep that real sharp, and it cuts your lines into your leather. So you take your time and you cut. Now you can use a knife. You could use a razor blade, I suppose. But these right here, of course, you can find them in any leather shop or probably online. This is what they use and what I use to cut your image into the leather. And later on, you will go ahead and tool around those lines. Okay. So right here, so I don't know if y'all can you, yeah, you can see. So back there, I've got a little box full of tools. So they're all sticking out. And each one of those tools does a different thing in the leather. One of the tools is sitting right here. You can see it there. And I use this to go beside the line to pretty much beat the leather down. Okay, I'm passing up a very important step. You have to take like a sponge of water and you dampen the leather up and you let it sit for about 3 to 5 minutes. Let that water kind of, the dampness seep into the leather, and it makes the leather pliable, workable for when you're tooling leather. And then what you do is you take that tool that I had right here and you use a hammer, which is right here. They got these special hammers. You can use whatever hammer you want, but I got the special one. It is nice. And you simply beat the leather down in order to cause your design to rise. Well, that's the way it's basically going to look, because you're beating this leather down, exposing your design that you're wanting in the leather. And it's a process. It's a process. You keep doing it all the way down. You can see. Can't make this come on bigger. Come on. There it is. All right. So yeah. So you can see where I beat it down, and you have to wet the leather as you're going through. As you're getting your design going on there. And then when you get it all done up, now you can take your modeling spoon and kind of smooth out places, fix little areas maybe that you think need fixing. Yeah, these modeling spoons right here, they're really useful when you're tooling leather. Now I did take a special tool, and I tried to kind of make it look like there was tobacco in the pipe. You can see that right there. It worked out. It looks good, you know. But there's another picture of it. I'm basically done tooling it right here at this point. And at this point is where I can decide, do I leave it like this? Do I do any staining work? Do I go ahead and just make the valet and put some oil on it and call it good? Well, that's where, I start thinking. And I decided to just go on. And step by step by step, I made it what it is, and you'll see it in a minute. But I decided to go ahead and stain the pipe and try to make it stand out, and stain the stem out. I almost decided to use a shiny, they call it edge coating. I almost decided to make the stem shiny, but I didn't. I thought it would have been too much. But the stem does still stand out from the rest. You can tell. I do like the way the barrel of the pipe turned out and the shank here. It all looks really nice. And I use a paintbrush and I just dip it into my stain and, sit there and try to be a little artistic. And so there we go there. You can tell because like I said, I went ahead and stained the leather black. And I was afraid when I started doing that, it may be very hard to see the stem that I also stained black. But I continued on, and you can still see it, and it worked out just fine. And I went ahead and took my line cutter, and I cut some lines in this thing, kind of framed it out. And there was a reason why I did that, and we'll see that in a minute. I went ahead and stained the back side of it black once I was done. Okay, brown, as you can see here, and it even says dark brown right here. So went ahead and stained it dark brown. Now what I also did, I don't know why I didn't show it. Did I not take pictures of that? Well, so, instead of just pinching the sides, like I did with this one here. Also, y'all, these little valets, I'm starting to realize they make really nice place to set your pipe, um, eh, along with your lighter, everything. It's kind of nice. I like it. My wife bought me a really nice one. Looks like a giant tobacco leaf. I'll have to show it to y'all sometime. And it sits in the living room. But here on the computer desk, I can just set this guy right there. I don't even need a pipe rest. I just set it in there like that. It's good to go. Um, but so pinching the sides is what I did here. Pinch the sides, and then you let it dry. And yeah, so that creates your walls here for the valet. I decided in this case, and I'm going to try and blow it up here so you can see a little better. So if you look over here to my right, your left, on the front side of it, I took and did a relief cut where it basically cuts half of the leather, cuts into half of the leather. And then instead of just pinching, I actually sewed it. So when it pulls up to make that corner, the wax thread keeps it tight and made it for a really nice wall right there. I don't know why I didn't take a picture of that. All right, so yeah, I guess I basically jumped straight to finished product. But yeah, so I slickered the sides. You use a burnishing tool right here. I also added later on some brown edge coating on the very top edge of this. I guess you can also tell, maybe just slightly. So you see the thread right here, where I was talking about the threading, the wax thread, and that helped to keep this guy folded up to make its corners. And it worked out really well. I really liked it. So there is the pipe. And for a Tobacco Valet, the artwork's not that bad. It's not that bad at all. I could have done better, that's for sure, but it's not that bad. I like the way it turned out. Got a couple more pictures here. Yeah, so here's one. Got some tobacco laid out, getting ready to go. Got your lighter, your pipe, and your tamper sitting there waiting for it all to happen. So it's nice. You know, I didn't even measure this thing. I'd say it's about 6 inches by 8 inches, maybe. Where I don't have a tape measure sitting here. Let's see. 3 inches. I got a 3-inch square sitting here. um, well, no, I'd say it's about 5 inches. If I had to guess, that by 6 inches. Yeah, I'd say it's about 5 by 6. It's good size, and we'll show it to you here in just a second. But that's what it looks like. It turned out really good. I like it. A little bit of artwork at the bottom, so it's just not, you know, that boring. I did go ahead and protect it with a leather oil, and then on top of that, I put a sheen coating on top of that, a satin sheen, and then a little bit of mink oil on top of that, just to kind of keep it all. It worked out really well. I like it. Really nice. So this area right in here, you won't even have to worry about protecting it. Now the back side, if you ever wanted to, you could put a little oil on it, a little bit of mink oil, whatever that you like to use on leather. But the top side, I would leave it alone. She's good to go for life. Yeah. So, anyways, let's get back to the main screen. I'll show it to you all in person. So here she is right here. And so yeah, so the corners, like I said, let's see, they're sewn up. So I did a relief cut on the inside right here, and then that helped to fold the leather. And then when I sewed it together, I pulled it nice and tight, and then it just kind of created these corners and turned out nice. The edge of the walls, they're about maybe 3/4 of an inch high, so it's not too high. And this, and compared to mine, the wall's a little taller. Yeah. So I do like the height of the walls on this one right here. Um, Makes it nice to sit on the coffee table, set wherever you want. It's actually thin enough that if you had a desk drawer you wanted to take and put it in the desk drawer, you could do that. It doesn't stand too tall, you know. Um, and then you pull it out when you're ready to smoke, whatever. But I do like the way it turned out. Um, Real nice. It's nice and stiff with this leather here once she's been wet and molded. Nice and stiff. It doesn't just, you know, fly around. So it's a nice piece. I did enjoy it. I had fun doing it. That's one thing about, you know, most things that most craftsmen do, you know, including myself. When you make something, every piece is unique. Every piece that you make normally is basically one of a kind, unless, of course, you're commissioned to do multiples of the same thing. But that's the nice thing about doing just one piece, one unique piece. You can do whatever you want to it. You don't have to worry about saving the template or or saving the artwork or whatever. So I do like doing stuff like this. This will be a one of a kind, and I mean I could try to recreate it someday, but probably could come close. Who knows? But yeah, so put your name in the hat for this one, y'all, if y'all would like that Tobacco Valet. And yeah, so I may be out of things to say, which is a good thing because we're almost at 30 minutes. I hope y'all had a good weekend. And wow, stay cool, y'all, wherever you're from. I know here in Texas it's still screaming hot. But we're kind of acclimated now. You know, what can you do? I go to work, nice sweat balls, and then come home, take a shower, and try and stay cool. That's what we do here. Um, Anyways, I'm gonna finish up the rest of this bowl, y'all. I hope y'all have the good rest of your Sunday evening here. And until next week, when we do the drawing for this new valet, y'all, take care of yourselves. We'll see you.